Hello, I'm Matt, welcome to Badger Workshop. My mum was given this old photo of my grandfather. I never got to meet him, so I thought I'd make a frame for it and give it to her. So let's get started. Last year at the pub, they fitted some new skids in the cellar. These are bits of wood that the beer barrels slide down. They left a pile of off-cut hardwood, which I squirreled away, and this is the last bit I'm going to use up now. First I cut the stock into square strips, but I wanted the frame to have a little more interest to it than that. So I angled the blade and then rounded the strips through again to add an angle to them. I do have a router, but I don't have a router table, so I didn't want to add some fancy profile to it. Also, I just don't really feel that's my style. Just keep it nice and simple. I used the table saw to cut a rebate in the back for the mount to go in, the glass and the backing board. This mitre sled was one of the best things I've made recently. It makes doing picture frames so much easier. Previously I'd always struggled with the accuracy of the mitre saw. And with the angled stop blocks on it, it makes making repeated cuts so much easier. So if you actually need to make a pile of the same size frames, it's a doddle. While I was in jig making mode, I also made a spline jig to reinforce the corners of picture frames, but these ones are going to be so small, I think just gluing them up is going to be fine. I needed some new picture frame clamps, and obviously you need a clamp for each corner, so 4 clamps for a frame. As much as I'd like to, I could never have justified spending the money on a Veritas tool before. Buying this one clamp instead of 4 individual ones made it quite reasonably priced. And I have to say, after my first time using it, I'm very impressed with its performance. While I waited for the glue to dry, I thought I'd cut down the sheet goods, so I had some 5mm ply for the backing. And then instead of glass, I actually went for a sheet of Perspex, as I could just pick it up at the DIY store and cut it myself easily. When I had the strips ripped, I just drew a pencil line on the crosscut sled and cut the pieces to size. The glue had dried, I quickly used the belt sander to clean up any glue that squeezed out, and then I moved to hand sanding with some finer grits. I think Danish oil is becoming one of my favourite finishes. I think mainly because it's just so easy and hard to mess up. Just apply, leave it to dry and wipe off any excess. And I think on something like this that's not going to get any hard wear, it looks great. I just bought some mount board online. 4 Hours Furniture did a great video on cutting your own, and that is something I would love to get into, but the tools are quite expensive. The Perspex has protective plastic on both sides, which as you can see is really difficult to get off, or I'm making it look difficult. But that goes in, then the mount board and picture, and then the backing bit of plywood can go in. I didn't want to permanently attach the back on in case my mum ever wants to take the picture out. So I use these little brass tabs to hold it in. That's it all done. I hope she's pleased with it. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe for more videos.